You know what I'm thinking about? How amazing life is. And that's actually what I'm talking about. Is like how amazing life is. And the bravery and also kind of like insanity that we have to live with. People who are willing to question like the most foundational elements of not only our society, not only our culture, but our social system of engagement and comprehension. There's a thought I've been dealing with a lot lately, and that is how like everything in fucking society is just like looking for human validation. We as a species, and not everybody, but so much of the nature of our species is a constant look for human validation. What is a trophy? What is the presidency? What is a corporation? What is a CEO? What is you know what I mean? What is money? These are all structured conditions of human systems of evaluation. And I think it takes a pretty fucking insane person to be like, yeah, I see all these human systems of social evaluation. What I think is all of it's fucking bullshit. It doesn't mean a lot. I think there's something more important out there that I'm going to seek and think is worth seeking. The problem is that, like, if you're a sane person who deals with that, you also probably have to understand you still need to make money. And because of the fact that we participate in such a complex system, of just materialistic bullshit that is literally, and I mean quite literally, destroying the fucking planet and any future of humanity, we also, in a way, kind of give our own system of cognition and comprehension over to that system and forget that, like, we actually believe in something different and vastly different than what the vast majority of society believes in. And that causes us fucking feelings, what I call insanity. Because it's like, hey, the world's. Am I the crazy person? I feel like the fucking crazy. I must be the only fucking person here who. Because, like, everybody's acting like it's fine and all this shit makes sense. And I've studied this shit for fucking, like, 40,000 hours and I still don't fucking get it. And I mean that quite literally. And this is the fucking thing. Like, that's. First of all, like, I've been through shit. My comprehension, my understanding. But this is the thing. Like, I don't look at the shit I've been through as a means for me to look down on other people. I look at what I've been through as a means to understand who the fuck I am. And I think that the problem is, as a fucking species, too many people look at conditions of money as a fucking, like, accurate or acceptable, like, as a fucking judgment of who they are as fucking people. No amount of money is going to determine your value as an individual, because of the fact that's not how money is set up. And in fact, the more psychotic you are, the more psychopathic you are, the higher your ability to actually earn a great deal of money, because the exploitatory nature of capitalism is by nature fucking psychotic and psychopathic, if that makes sense. And so the point is, the social structures that we live with are not going to be any friend to our, like, system of cognition. Thus, it means that we have to, those of us who tend to question the system, need to be able to develop a system of self-evaluation and comprehension that's A, not arrogant to the point that, like, we become self-delusion, but B, is not rely upon the very system that we're actually challenging, because we challenge the very notions that these people blindly accept. That doesn't mean you go around hating people and be thinking like, well, you guys are fucking sheeple. But you do realize that what I value, how I see the world, is going to be vastly different than people outside of the fucking construct, that the construct being that, like, the societal narrative is acceptable and accurate. If I don't accept that, and the people who do accept that, the ability for me to communicate with them on a fucking accurate level is made 1,000 times more difficult. So I have to be fucking aware of that to have real or conversations. Like, speaking another language. The point is that if I've gotten this far in my psychological development, for me to be able to name, evaluate, judge, consistently conclude and comprehend exactly what I'm saying in real time in ways that actually make sense, are true and logical, that means that my basis of self-evaluation cannot be based upon the systems that they use, because I'm incompatible at that point in time. And if I'm looking for validation in the very structured systems that they use to validate themselves, I'm doing myself a disservice because of the fact I've moved a lot of steps beyond that. You know what I mean? And so I need a new system of evaluation. It's not Nietzsche's bullshit, but I think what it really is that, like, you have to develop a system of comprehension and understanding that is based upon you, not anybody outside of you, and that's just difficult. I would just say, Kyle, you're dope, and I think that speaks. How I think that's true for you too, in the same way I'm speaking. I think I spoke fire, but I'll finish it like this. This is how I think of it. Motherfucker, this shit sucks. All of it. This shit blows. But the fucking reality is I'm gonna fucking move through this shit like a goddamn gangster. That's my fucking choice. That's my action. That's my behavior. This entire situation goes suck a dick along with fucking capitalism. Motherfuckers ain't reading the climate reports. That shit's not on CNN and MSNBC. That's these motherfuckers, but that's not who the fuck I am, and I'm not gonna fucking lose sweat because of the fact that the mass public who listens to Rachel Maddow as literal fucking gospel, as literal fucking truth, aren't a representation of my own personal representation as a human being. That's not sweat off my back. And just because I don't fucking vibe with everybody does not mean that because of the fact there's a larger majority of people who vibe on the same level doesn't make them fucking right, doesn't make them fucking better. And like the people who would easily judge me are probably the weakest minded people on this entire fucking planet, and thus I can move through this world having a level of confidence in myself, because at the end of the day I try to be comprehensively kind to everybody, even people who vote Democrat, even people who vote Republican, who I think are involved in a much larger cult-like mentality. I give them respect because I feel it's necessary. The point that I'm fucking saying is simply this. I'm not gonna fucking pretend like we're on the same fucking, like, I'm not gonna pretend my life is their life, and I'm not gonna pretend that because of the fact they don't think about anything, and I do think about shit, that we're on equal fucking footing in terms. It doesn't mean I need to hate them or judge them or condemn them. It just means one fucking thing. I will be my fucking judge. I'm gonna evaluate myself. And you know what? I fucking been through it, and I've been dope about it, and I'm gangster about all of it. Like, fuck the shit I've been through, some gangster shit. But it doesn't mean that I hate people. That should not. This shit means fucking simple shit. Bitch, like, I'm not waiting for other people's approval to be who the fuck I am. That's dope. You know, what the fuck am I, like, look. I got two options. Make myself better or determine who I am based upon other people. I'm not doing the second version of that shit, because fuck that shit. So I'm gonna make my fucking self better. And people confused with conforming themselves to, like, social hierarchies and social systems as systems of, like, acceptance, but in reality it's systems of submission. Submission. You're submitting yourself to a group system or a group mindset. You're putting yourself under conditions of a group mindset to find personal identity through that group. And I think far too often that's what this, like, culture and society has created. People who are definitively based upon group submission and group identity, or identity gained or garnered from larger systems and groups. The people who develop, we very rarely get large levels of groups to acknowledge us on a comprehensive level, because the people who actually have the ability to acknowledge us generally don't agree with fucking large groups of fucking people, because we understand that, like, that level of fucking social structure doesn't aid any real level of integrity or value, and that true value can only be ascertained or attained by an individual seeking it. Thus, we had to have new parameters and deterministic systems that lie outside of group mentality and social hierarchical structures, especially those related to capitalism, in order for us as human beings to have a new variated version of what success means or what being human means. What I'm saying, Kyle, is I think you are on the cusp of those very fucking actions. I think that right now there are fucking certain people who are actually really questioning the very concept of what it means to be a human being, comprehensive, conscious, and all that other fucking shit. And I think you're fucking there. But if you're constantly using the old systems of identity and determinism, that the very fucking garbage structure that has been used 1,000 times over kind of fucking forces upon us, even through fucking church and religion. Fuck both of those. The Church of the Church of the United States, I think, is 100% the Church of Satan, where Satan has a bigger influence, vastly bigger influence on the larger American church than God does. Anyways, until we understand that we are on an endeavor that is vastly different than the vast majority of the American public, the social standards presented before us, we're never going to be able to accurately engage with ourselves and engage with the external world in a way that's actually beneficial. That's what I'm saying, is that, like, yeah, maybe we're actually fucking dope as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, real shit. Maybe fuck all this shit and maybe we're dope as fuck. You know what I mean? I hope that fucking makes sense. I'll watch it. I'll watch this one this time. So I mean, I'm gangster, nigga. I don't even know if it fucking make any sense. I'm watching it though. Let's go.